Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Lessons for Life from Swami Jagdatmananji's inspiring book Learn to Live, Volume 2, Chapter 4, As We Sow, So We Reap. We have come to the last episode of this most fascinating, thought-provoking chapter, As We Sow, So We Reap. Now we will listen to a most convincing conclusion about the truth, about the reality of law of karma. The episode is Truth, the absolute truth. Intellectuals of the modern age consider concepts like karma, virtue, sin, serial births as forms of blind belief. Can the above truths cease to exist if we just ignore them? If we just affirm that we are all equals, differences are imaginary and meant only for exploitation, do we automatically bring about uniformity in men's tastes, abilities, intelligence, etc.? To deny the law of karma is to behave like the ostrich, which is convinced that if it does not see the hunter will also not see it. If we cannot see the impact of karma, does it mean it does not exist? The same answer was received repeatedly when Casey was consulted. Quote, flatly and emphatically, far from being a half-baked myth, the law of reincarnation is a cold, hard fact. Unquote. The following facts are in favor of the views expressed by Casey. 1. The descriptions and analysis of special features of a personality provided by Casey in his hypnotic state were true in the case of people who were hundreds of miles away. This was true not only in the case of just one individual, but also in the case of thousands of people. 2. Casey had predicted the occasional abilities and traits where newborn children and grown people might succeed in later life. All his predictions have proved literally true. 3. Psychological traits were explained by past life experiences. 4. The statements which Casey made in the course of about 23 years never had an instance of self-contradiction. They have all been convincing from a philosophical point of view and have held good in the description of thousands of case studies. 5. Historical explanations given by Casey, not known till then, were proved true when later the same factors were re-examined. When verification was sought regarding the names and places of people mentioned by him in his hypnotic sleep, there was no contradiction between what he had said in hypnosis and the factual details. 6. All those who followed his instructions and guidance given in the state of hypnosis in the matter of treatment, restrictions of food and exercise showed definite signs of physical and psychological improvement just as he had predicted. 7. The conclusions drawn in his innumerable statements within brackets, which can prove many philosophical and psychological theories, are logical and do not contradict what is known so far about man's mental life. Some statements have called for more extensive research. These may be considered as strong inferential evidences in support of our belief in reincarnation and the law of karma through hypnosis, television, electronic photography, and psychological experiments. In the next 50 years, exact knowledge of these factors can be obtained, says Dr. Gina Sarminara in her 3 well-known books. To know more about reincarnation and karma, readers may consult the books listed at the end of this chapter. Many Mansions, the book written by Gina Sarminara, be read by everybody, including those who do not believe in the theory of reincarnation. Modern scholars and intellectuals who tend to discredit the karma doctrine should necessarily read this book. William R. Alger, a priest who belonged to the Unitarian Christian sect, spent many years of his life in trying to prove the law of reincarnation and karma as baseless. His objective was to negate them, but at the end, he only turned into its staunch supporter. His great work, A Critical History of the Doctrine of a Future Life, New York Greenwood Press, 1968, has been lauded as unequaled for the high degree of scholarship. He says that it would be foolish to reject karma and reincarnation as blind belief when it has been discovered by an inner vision through deep thinking, vast study, and logical argument. His bibliography runs to 5,000 reference books. It saw the light for the first time in 1860. An extensively revised 10th reprint was published in 1886. In 1968, it has again been published in 2 parts in New York. Reincarnation, an East-West Anthology, Wheaton, 1968. He said, quote, "Only the theory of reincarnation gives a wonderful explanation for the complexity of the moral inequalities found in the life of man, in the discrimination in God's world, and the unending variety of hardships afflicting mankind." Tomorrow we will be starting the 5th chapter, Transformation through Prayer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.